everybody, let's get right to it. I have been lackadaisical, have I not? I'm going to talk about two things in one video to save some time. I'm going to talk about Capital Punishment. I'm going to talk about last night's Monday Night Raw Power to the People pay-per-view review is now 3 days late. Raw review is 2 days late. But here we go. For those of you that haven't yet seen them or missed them or want to see them again or whatever, up here, or no, it's going to be up there, is where I'm going to put the links for my Cena versus TNA video and also the video montage of the pictures of my trip to Toronto to see the TNA show for those that wanted to see those. They're up. Some people seem to like them, so I'll put the links up there. You can check them out if you want to. But yeah, here we go. Capital Punishment opens with a really well done, intense, borderline intimidating, I guess, if you're John Cena, video package of everything that's been going on with R-Truth, basically losing his mind and whatnot and whatever. Getting me really ramped up because I'm really hoping against hope that they're going to pull the trigger on R-Truth. But it remains to be seen, doesn't it? Opens up with Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler, which I'm being a big fan of Dolph Ziggler. I was assuming good things from this match, but I'm also assuming, a little bit of same old, because this is a rivalry that over various points of this year and last year has kind of been driven into the ground for various secondary titles. Whether it was the IC title or the US title or, whatever the equivalent, second place prize on whatever show they were on at the time was. But a little bit of different things, and it might be only the way I've seen it, because I don't, not to say I don't like Kofi Kingston, but I have less and less for attention and time for him, especially when he goes up against somebody like Dolph Ziggler. And Kofi Kingston, to my eye, looked slow as hell in this match, looked very hesitant in this match, whereas Dolph Ziggler shone. If he had shone this well a little while ago, I would have actually put some stock in when they briefly put the world title on him. So I'm hoping him chasing the secondary titles doesn't last very much longer. Kofi Kingston does pull out a different sort of thing. He has a splash from the top rope, but he has it on Dolph Ziggler's back while Dolph Ziggler's trying to get up, so his spine just does one of these, and you're like, ooh, that's different, and if it had botched, it would have hurt a lot. A fair bit of combination wrestling, counter wrestling. Great match. A Vicky-less match until the end, where there's, oh shit, right, Ziggler's a heel, we better do something heelish, and Vicky rakes the eyes, which leads to Kofi Kingston tapping out to his chokehold, or not his chokehold, his sleeper, but it was a sleeper with a leg vine and everything, and it looked really effective, except for one little thing that I didn't get, and it didn't make very much sense at all. At one point in the sleeper, Dolph Ziggler did make his way to the ropes, and he did touch the ropes. So Ziggler, to his credit, pushes his leg over to where the rope is and kicks them back, gives them some momentum, and they roll back into the middle of the ring. Now, would you not think that if Kofi Kingston touching the rope didn't break the hold, would Dolph Ziggler not using the rope have gotten them to break the hold? It's a little tiny thing, little bit of logic that didn't make much sense to me, but the guy I'm rooting for won, so I should kind of shut up, shouldn't I? So yeah, your new U.S. champion is Dolph Ziggler, which means, Vicky Guerrero has more to crow about now. Yay. Last week on Raw, when Austin said, yeah, you'll get your title match if you get rid of Vicky, I really was hoping that was going to go somewhere. Of course it didn't, but whatever. Miz versus Alex Riley. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think I said this in the preview video. This is the match that I was actually waiting for, because I don't think anybody could have predicted that on his face turn, WWE Universe would have gotten behind Alex Riley as much as they have in such a short span of time. Good match. They were both pretty intense. You can tell they've spent a lot of time working together just by the way this match flowed, whatever. Alex Riley played a lot of face in peril type of spots that worked out really well, and he finished it off with a simple reverse DDT on The Miz, but it was one of those things where even though it was a simple move, it was like back, with Tommy Dreamer or Raven or Goldust or whatever, you pull off a simple move, but it's their finishing move of the night. So yeah, that was that. He gets the win. It has to be said once again. I think I've said it a couple weeks ago on Raw. I love his entrance. Like, his entrance music is key, and I think it's a little bit better than the Miz's, to be quite honest. Fret not, I am not bailing on the Miz. Miz, contrary to what everybody else is saying about this match, Miz didn't lose anything by losing this match. Miz is still one of the top heels in the WWE, but when was the last time we had a really believable, get-behindable new face? Like, we were waiting, like, everybody knew that Riley was going to get sick of the Miz eventually and turn face. We were all waiting for it to happen, and I think our excitement built up long before it actually happened. So when it did, it was the cork out of the champagne bottle, and the WWE Universe is 110% behind Alex Riley. And from what he showed in this match tonight, I know a lot of other people are being a lot harsher on this match. I like what I saw out of Alex Riley in this match. And like I say, the Miz didn't lose a step. So that's that. I don't have very many notes. I was very lazy about this show, and I'm sorry, I guess. I hope it doesn't change the outcome of the vid or whatever. Wade and Ezekiel Jackson, we were all waiting for the breakup of the core. I mean, Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel are going to go off and do their tag team thing, which is fine if they're not, busy being Wade Barrett's bitches. Then they're going to go do a tag team thing if WWE ever gets the tag team division up off its ass again. Ezekiel Jackson shined like a fucking star in this match. I've made comparisons before with Ezekiel Jackson to the likes of Ahmed Johnson and Bobby Lashley, and he has sort of that element. Now, Wade Barrett didn't lose anything in this match. The elements that he brings to the ring that I shudder to admit are all still there. He looks strong. And, the Wade Barrett fans, the Wade Barrett supporters are all happy right now because without the core, if he does go out and he does win, he's going to look really, really strong, as opposed to before where it's like, yeah, he won because it's a 3-on-1 situation or whatever. I gotta say, this match started with Wade Barrett having no music, which can only mean that he's not going to have the core's generic music anymore, and they knew he wasn't going to win, and they didn't have any music for him, so they had him doing a little verbal diarrhea on the way to the ring, just knocking the United States or whatever, which leads to an amazing thing, and it's been pointed out by every other video I've watched on this show so far. It's been pointed out by the commentators in the match so far. Wade Barrett comes out and he runs down the United States because of their economy, because of this, because of that, because they have no class, and da-da-da-da-da, then, which automatically brings up a USA chant, and the USA chant isn't directed at whoever his opponent is. The USA chant is directed at him just to piss him off, but it adds a little bit of comedic value to the crowd reaction when they have a USA chant going and neither of the competitors are from the United States. Oh yes, made me laugh a lot. It was a great match, and like I say, with two ex-core guys, it was great to see them in a match that didn't have any bullshit in it, and that was the overwhelming element of the match, was the lack of bullshit. Other than that, it was a typical big man versus big man, which isn't great usually, but whatever. Torture Rack by Ezekiel Jackson gets him the Intercontinental Championship. Now, here's where I'm going to start really, really shining this show. Not only do they have both secondary titles on this show, the Intercontinental and the U.S. titles, both of them have changed hands. Both of them have changed hands in a way that most people are going to really like, and both of them have changed hands by submission, which is something, unless you're like Daniel Bryan or John Cena or somebody like that who bases their entire repertoire on submission. The idea of getting a generic superstar out there getting a win by submission kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit. So to have both of those titles, both change hands, both by submission, was a really overpowering and a kind of factor for me. I don't know. If you don't agree, if you think I'm actually absolutely talking shit, box is down there for a reason. CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio. Now, I have said over and over and over again, even though I can't stand Mysterio most of the time, these guys will always put on a watchable match, and this one was absolutely no exception. The one thing I will say, compared to their previous matches, there was no Nexus interference. When they fought on SmackDown, there was always Straight Edge Society interference. Since they've both gone to Raw, there's always been Nexus interference. There was no interference in this match. So, much like the Wade Barrett-Ezekiel Jackson match, I'm just soaking up the lack of bullshit in this match, which is great. The counter wrestling and the reversal wrestling and the chain wrestling in this match was off the chart, even for the standard that these two have already set for themselves, and Punk got the clean victory, which I incredibly marked out for. So now Ziggler has won. I'm a happy guy. Punk has won clean without the Nexus. I'm a happy guy. Christian versus Orton was, everybody knew this was going to be a different chapter in their story, because now it's coming out of anger and revenge and resentment and aggression rather than out of mutual respect, like their first two matches were. And the story is Randy Orton recovering from his concussion. Christian does a good job of working Orton's head the whole match. Orton does a good job of selling his head the whole match. Now, here is my problem with this match. Orton is selling the concussion the whole match. He's selling the fact that he's disoriented the whole match. He was counter-wrestling better in this match than I've seen him do in a long time, or than they've had him do in a long time. Now, the ability to counter, the ability to think on your feet, the ability to think quickly, would that not be affected if you were having a concussion, having the effects of a concussion enough that you're stumbling around the rings at some points, but yet you're able to crisply counter everything you need to crisply counter? It's a little tiny contradiction, but I had to point it out because it did bug me at the time. Orton wins by RKO. Doesn't do anything to hurt Christian. Christian still looked way stronger than I think most people assumed he was going to in this match, and that's my phone. Shut up. Christian looked stronger than most people were going to give him credit for in this match, in my opinion. Orton got the win with the RKO. Christian's foot was under the rope. It was pointed out by Christian. Michael Cole went nuts about it afterwards. You know this is going to be a bone of contention, and it's another gear in the wheel of their rivalry, which gives me the hope for what I want. I want this rivalry to keep going and maybe culminate at SummerSlam, because Christian and Orton both deserve it. So yeah, Orton is still your champion for now. We have a filler match, and yeah, normally filler match is just, go have a piss break type thing. I have missed a whole match. Oh, it was the one I wasn't looking very forward to anyway, but Del Rio versus the Big Show was a joke. Big Show jumped Del Rio while he was on his way to the ring. Big Show is then jumped by Mark Henry, who Big Show knocked out on Raw. Mark Henry has his way with the Big Show like no tomorrow. World's Strongest slams him through the Spanish announce table, then jams his knee into the ground. Referee asks him, does he still want to be in the match? Yes, yes, yes. Mark Henry leaves while talking some bullshit. Del Rio is in the match with the Big Show, attacks his knee, attacks his knee, attacks his knee, attacks his knee. Big Show tries to look strong. Everybody else thinks this was really ingenuitive of Del Rio, but I really don't think it was. He tried to use the rolling arm bar that he uses on most people on Big Show's leg, which makes a lot of sense. The injured body part is the leg. So I guess from a ring psychology point of view, it was a great thing to do, but it wasn't that new or different. It just looked like a half-ass attempt at a figure four. Good thing Ric Flair's not still there. He would have come out and laughed. Oh, yes, he would have. So, yes, Del Rio gets a cheap-ass victory over Big Show, so that's going to continue. And after that, we have a Big Show versus Mark Henry feud to look forward to. Are you excited? I think I'm going to drink, because that's going to be a big piss break. Anyways, now getting back to where I was, we have a filler match with Evan Bourne defeating Jack Swagger. I say filler match, but I don't say that in any way to put down this match as a filler match usually would be put down by me. Usually a filler match is like Santino Marella versus somebody, so. But this one, it's becoming sort of like Rey Mysterio and CM Punk, isn't it? It's like they don't really have to do anything to it. It's just like, yes, Evan Bourne and Jack Swagger are going to fight again. We've buried them. They're not going to do anything else. They might as well keep facing each other. They put on a decent random match, I guess. Keith Stone and the Bellas were there to watch the match, and I'm guessing Keith Stone is some kind of marketing guy for beer because he came out with a case of beer, and the Bellas needed something to do that night. I don't know. But in all honesty, I was only half watching that match, so if I've missed something or if there's some big significance to them being on the pay-per-view and to Keith Stone and the Bellas being there for that segment, somebody please let me know. Once again, the box is down there for a reason. And the last match, I didn't write any notes. I want you to see right here. All I said was WWE fucks R-Truth. Because basically that's what it was. There hasn't been a really fun push of a new person into the main event picture like R-Truth in a long ass time. So even the people that can't stand him have to admit that he's been doing a good job with it. I don't think you can make an argument that says you can argue that you don't like it, but you can't deny that he's pulling it off well. He's psychotic, he's a heel, he's going to do all the heelish stuff, but at the same time he's so nuts that it's almost comedy. But he's up against Super Cena. Cena looked like shit in this match. More than usual. This match was R-Truth looking as good as he can look, if they give him a chance to, for most of the match. And then an ending that was just a slap in the face, because he dominated Cena. He went out to mess with a fan. The fan threw a drink in his face. Cena all of a sudden springs back to life with an attitude adjustment and a pin. They did a video package at the beginning about R-Truth. They did a video package of R-Truth and Cena before the Bourne Swagger match, and they did a build-up video right before their match. So they're building up Truth like crazy just to squash him again for the sake of, Cena sucking their dicks or whatever. I really don't get it. I hope R-Truth gets another shot. I hope this wasn't his, one token trip to the main event. But, yeah. That's the show, guys. Christian Orton was a great match. CM Punk and Rey Mysterio was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Ziggler and Kofi Kingston was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So, all in all, that's right. There was a whole lot of bad comedy with a fake Barack Obama meeting Sergeant Slaughter and getting saluted, and Vicky Guerrero singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President, which was just enough to make your skin crawl. There was Santino Marella getting taken away by the CIA because he was going to show the president the Cobra and all that. And I get it. It's capital punishment. It's the capital of the U.S. It's an American company. They're going to wave their flags high and mighty and all that. All power to them. They can do that if they want. I'm not going to care. Anyways, that's all for capital punishment for WWE. If this is going to become an annual thing, I'm just going to wonder, are they going to Washington, D.C. every June from now on? Because if it's not, if it's not in the Capitol, that's what they're playing up on. I don't know how they're going to make it work next year. Okay, now we switch gears to Monday Night Raw, and it was Power to the People. It was another 3-hour Raw. It's not been a bad time to be a wrestling fan, for me anyways, in the past little while. You had Slammiversary, you had a 3-hour Raw, you had me going to the live show last Friday, you have another pay-per-view last Sunday, and another 3-hour Raw tonight. So, can't really complain personally as a wrestling fan for the past couple of weeks, but Power to the People, so everything's going to be voted for on mine by text message and da-da-da-da-da. So we start off with CM Punk, who says that I defeated John Cena last week. I should be the number one contender. I'm going to have a sit-in until I get what I want. The general manager clicks in and says, well, you would have been the number one contender, but now you're being a dick, so now you have to face Del Rio and Mysterio in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. All well and good. Funniest part of this segment was CM Punk waiting for the general manager's response and doing snow angels on the ring mat. Michael Cole goes on to announce later in the night that one of the most trending things on Twitter is snow angels. It's like, whatever. They made an announcement at some point in this match that WWE has more Facebook and Twitter followers than McDonald's, Microsoft, and Disney combined. That makes me smile a lot. I don't do the Twitter thing. I have Facebook. If any of you guys give a damn and want to add me to Facebook, you can ask me. Spaz Phoenix, same as my name here. Next we have Brie Bella versus Kelly Beth Phoenix or Eve Torres, as voted by the WWE Universe. And because people are retarded, or because it's fixed, to take your pick, it ends up being Brie versus Kelly. It's a very, very blah divas match with a lot of shenanigans from the Bella twins, but despite that, Kelly is your new women's champion. Yay. King tries to interview Kelly after the match. She just does a really bad after-match promo, which is her just screaming in the ring. Makes me kind of think of Ezekiel Jackson's after-match promo at Capital Punishment, which made me think of Rocky 2, Adrian, I did it! And that's about how intelligent it was. Then we have Evan Bourne, who will either take on Jack Swagger, Mason Ryan, or Sin Cara. And good God, they chose Mason Ryan. Very, very average power versus speed, and it ends up being a quick squash match in favor of Mason Ryan. Mark Henry is going to take on Kane. Kane is going to avenge the attack on Big Show at Capital Punishment, and it's going to be a body slam challenge, an arm wrestling challenge, or an over-the-top rope match. And the universe votes for arm wrestling, and the arm wrestling segments are always stupid in the WWE. They had Kane about to beat the world's strongest man, which is bad booking, number one. Number two, Mark Henry comes over with a big paw and just sort of knocks him out, takes him outside. There's a bit of a scuffle. World's strongest slam through the table again. Just like Kane. Or just like the Big Show, rather. So far, Monday Night Raw, not so much. As other than CM Punk's opening promos, which are always good. They have a random R-Truth highlight package. Then R-Truth comes out, and he says, I got screwed. Who's out to get me? Is it the computer, referring to the Raw general manager? Is it John Cena, or is it little Jimmy? And he starts talking about this and that. Christian comes out, and he says, oh, we can bond because we've both been screwed by the WWE. Neither one of us got the titles we deserved. Miz comes out, and he starts this big who got screwed more at the pay-per-view thing, and they just start yelling back and forth. I can't recreate it, but if you YouTube it, it was really, really funny. So this takes over from Punk as being my new my favorite talk segment of this show, I guess. Teddy Long interrupts because he suddenly has authority on Raw. Says the main event is going to be Miz, Truth, and Christian versus Ray, Orton, and Cena. Oh, yes. Next, we have Ziggler versus Kofi. Again, it could be a 2 out of 3 falls match, a Vicky banned from the ring match, or a submission match. If you weren't sure that this was a fix by now, judge by the fact that it was not a Vicky banned from the ring match. So we have a 2 out of 3 falls match. First fall is decided during the commercial break by Ziggler. Second is decided by, it's by Ziggler and it's by submission. Sorry, I'm tripping on my words, guys. It's late, whatever. Second is won by Kofi after, I believe it's called the SOS. Third is a disqualification when Ziggler hits Kofi in the face with a microphone. Other than the way that the 3 victories were scored in this match outshined their match from last night, because it seemed like Kofi brought more of his game, so they were more equal, whereas last night at the pay-per-view it looked like Kofi was lagging and dragging. Now we have Rey Mysterio, Del Rio, and Punk, and it's announced that it will either be a no DQ match, a submission match, or a falls count anywhere match. But before the match starts, we have an announcement. Raw is going back to 2 hours next week, and it's also going to be in Vegas, and HBK is going to be there. We don't know why. He's going to come and stir up some more shit, I guess. Del Rio comes out, and has to be said that it's really, really funny hearing Del Rio announced by a regular announcer rather than Ricardo Rodriguez, who was taken out by the Big Show, because he just sits there in the ring waiting for his announcement to be done, looking at I don't remember whether it was Tony Chimmel or Justin Roberts, but whichever one it was, looking at that announcer with absolute disgust, like, who the hell do you think you are announcing me, type thing, right? It's decided that it's going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match. The highlight of this is Punk hits an inside of the ring to the outside of the ring, sunset flip powerbomb to the ground on Del Rio, which is quite pretty. Rey also has some great spots, it needs to be said, even though I don't particularly care for him. Punk wins #1 contender match. Oh, hell yes. I'm a happy guy. One little thing I do have to say, though, is what the hell was the point of them making it a Falls Count Anywhere match if they were going to end it in the ring anyway? Because there wouldn't have been a count out in a triple threat match anyway, and they ended it in the ring, so the stipulation for this match didn't really matter, did it? Punk also announces that he wants to get his #1 contender match against John Cena at Money in the Bank, because at midnight that night his contract with WWE is over, and he's leaving, so he's going to win the title and take it with him when he retires. I don't really know what the significance of that is. If he does leave and he is the champion, they'll have a tournament and crown a new champion, and it'll probably be Cena again. So it's not as much of a threat as most people are making it out to be, or are assuming that it's trying to be. Alright, we have Cody Rhodes and Daniel Bryan. Sorry guys, my papers are falling all over the place. And it could be a paper bag match, a no count out match, or a collegiate rules match. Daniel Bryan shines with typical in-ring grappling prowess, because Cody Rhodes is too busy trying to develop his disturbed character to remember how to actually wrestle. So Bryan gets the win. Long story short, he's jumped by DiBiase and Rhodes after the match, and that rivalry is going to continue. Everybody, I'm sure, including me, assumed that Sin Cara would come and help Daniel Bryan, because that's the 2-on-2 situation that they've been trying to put together, but it did not happen. So I don't. Sin Cara wasn't on the show at all, actually, which was kind of funny, seeing as they're trying to push him as well. Next, I don't know why they decided that they're going to have a dance-off, and it's going to be Vicky Guerrero versus one of the commentators. And isn't it Michael Cole? Vicky Guerrero came out and used the old Sable line, "This is for the women that want to be me and the men that want to see me," and it's like, why are you quoting Sable? Just don't do it. Anyways, so this segment is hosted by Matt Striker, and Vicky Guerrero's dance-off is her grinding all over Matt Striker and trying to make out with him, and that was disgusting. I had to wash my eyeballs after that. Then it's decided that Michael Cole is the one that's going to go up against her. He doesn't do anything really other than a really bad mockery of a spinneroonie. Matt Striker announces that the winner is going to be whoever gets the worst boos, so Michael Cole wins. Vicky Guerrero gets mad, slaps him, and leaves. And we have the 6-man tag for the main event. Miz, Christian, and R-Truth versus A-Rai, Cena, and Orton. It could either be a one-fall match, a 20-minute time limit match, or an elimination match. And if you didn't know that this was going to be an elimination match, if that was one of the options, then you're really not paying attention to the WWE in the last, I don't know, forever, are you? So yeah, I'm just going to go through through this here. A-Rai, there's a bunch of stuff with Cena and Orton taking on the other three. A-Rai gets a hot tag, cleans house, and is jumped and pinned by Christian. Cena quickly pins The Miz. Orton pins R-Truth. Christian pins Orton. Cena pins Christian after Orton comes back and RKO's him, and their team wins. The main event had a lot of star power, but it could have done better. I know Alex Riley's new to the main event scene. I know Orton is supposedly supposed to be selling a concussion, but this match, and apparently John Cena in his real life is dealing with some health issues, but this match still could have been a lot better. Overall, for another 3-hour show, I was not uninterested. The parts that, it's becoming true more and more on Monday Night Raw. The parts that are good are really good, and the parts that aren't are definitely not. And that's what I'll say about that. But we still have the win, the fail, and the MVP. My first big win is Cena did not open this show, or anybody from, the Cena, Orton, Miz sort of camp. CM Punk can open a show anytime he wants, as far as I'm concerned. CM Punk, if he's in there by himself cutting a promo, don't think there's very many people in the WWE that are as good as him at it right now. For a back and forth promo between two different guys, I might throw some other people in there, but for a solo, I'd have to say CM Punk. Another win, Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler. For fighting 2 nights in a row, this match was better than the pay-per-view match. And if you recall back to the beginning of the video, their pay-per-view match was already better than excuse me, guys. It was better than I expected. Nothing really else stood out in the win category for me this week. It's a short win list. Fail is going to be the pending Big Show Mark Henry feud. When it happens, when they finally roll out with it, it's going to be boring as sin. A little add-on to that, I really don't like that they've got Kane playing Big Brother to Big Show, in the sense that everybody that attacks Big Show is going to be avenged by Kane. It's the more caring you add to his character, the more you take away from what's left of his original monstrous character, which is already hanging on by a thread. And they're not tag team partners anymore, and they're on different shows now, so their connection is tenuous at best. It doesn't make sense. I actually put it in the fail category. There's no way the WWE Universe chose Mason Ryan to face Evan Bourne when Sin Cara was one of the other options. So WWE, we know all the fan choice things are fixed, but at least give us the credit that we wouldn't have created that. Ziggler and Kofi was an awesome match. 2 out of 3 falls. Bad timing on the WWE's part that the first fall happened during a commercial break. The most exciting part of a match happened during the commercial break, and we got to see it when we came back. That if that doesn't let the wind out of your sails as a wrestling fan watching a match, I don't know what will. Okay, like I said, the 6-man tag wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great either. For this little bit of logic right here, Alex Riley, when he was with The Miz, helped The Miz defend against everybody, most notably Cena and Orton. So he already teamed with Cena last week, and they melded famously, and now he melded famously with Cena and Orton because they're just that forgiving. Suspend your disbelief as much as you want, but that's not, I don't know. I don't want to say not realistic, because everybody's going to say, of course it's not realistic, it's pro wrestling, but it's a little insulting to the intelligence, is all I'm going to say. Anyways, MVP of the show for June, whatever the hell it was, 20th, 2011, was, again, Dolph Ziggler. Their rivalry, his and Kofi Kingston's, is good. It's still watchable, much like Rey Mysterio, and it is much like the Rey Mysterio and Punk match, because it's one guy that I really like to watch versus one guy that I can take or leave, and Dolph Ziggler's carrying more than his weight in that rivalry. So that's it, guys. I'm going to stop now, post this, go to bed. I've still got my response to Kid of Wrestling's Fantasy Faction contest. I don't have it's not finished yet, but free plug. Kid of Wrestling, check him out. I just subbed to him a couple days ago. seems to know what the hell he's talking about. Anyways, that has been Capital Punishment and Monday Night Raw and my thoughts on some other things. I've been Spaz. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Don't be a stranger. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you guys later.